Hi, I'm Gary, welcome to my channel. Today I'm looking at the Airfix 1/48 scale kit of the Folland Gnat, a two-seat trainer used by the Royal Air Force and others. This kit was first released in 2014 in RAF training colours. In the same year it was also released with the markings of the RAF display team, the Red Arrows, and was available in a double box with the Red Arrows Hawk. The Gnat was reissued in 2020 with a bonus scheme of the Yellow Jacks display team. Finally, it was reissued in the original form this year. Now, if you enjoy the show, and I hope you do, please do remember to let YouTube know by giving it the Imperial thumbs up, hitting the notification bell and subscribing to the channel. It's free and a great way to show your support. Now, if you fancy one of these yourself and you don't have a local bricks and mortar shop, you might want to go to the Airfix online store. If you do so, go through my affiliate link below, then at no extra cost to you, Airfix will make a donation to the running of this channel. Best of all, you can still spend or collect Hornby Hobby reward points and get your 10% Airfix Club discount if you are a member. So let's make a start with a look at the box the kit comes in. So here's the box of the Folland Gnat T Mark I in 1/48 scale from Airfix. Product code right down the bottom here, A05123. Lovely box art as usual by Adam Tooby, showing a gnat in its low level training environment. Particularly like the way that the jet exhaust is sort of fuzzied out there as well. Very dynamic image. Kind of sort of doesn't give you quite the impression of how tiny a gnat is, but whatever. It's still a very, very lovely picture. On the long side here is a brief description of the gnat itself. There's a reminder here that the kit, when it's complete, will be 230mm long, 153mm wide, and there are 96 pieces included, maybe not all of which you'll necessarily need to use. There are two schemes listed here. Scheme A is for FTS, Flying Training School, RAF Valley in Wales, 1973. And the other one, the B scheme, is from the Central Flying School at RAF Little Rissington in Gloucestershire in 1964. Here we have the paint callouts for the Humbrol paints. These are either enamels or acrylics, use the same code numbers, and it points out that you haven't got paints or glues or anything like that included. It's a skill level 2 kit, so it's achievable by anyone really. I mean, if you have made another kit before, it will definitely help, but it won't harm if you haven't. You can still get through this without too much trouble. There's a little reminder there of the existence of the Airfix Club, and there's a token for 2 flying hours. Now, if you are a member of the Airfix Club, you can collect these towards a free kit in the future. However, if you're not a member of the club, or if you are in the club and you don't want to collect your flying hours, you're not bothered about them, don't throw them away. Please do cut them out and send them to Models for Heroes. This very excellent charity will turn flying hours into kits that serving and former members of the armed forces and blue light emergency responders who are suffering from mental health issues as a result of their service to our country, they can use these kits to help rebuild their lives. It's a fantastic charity. Please do check them out in the information box below. Okay, so that's what the box looks like. Let's see what we get inside. As usual with this size of Airfix kit, it's a top loading box. Inside is a large polythene bag with the frames, with a smaller polythene bag inside with the clear parts. There's the large instruction sheet here. There we go. And of course there's a decal sheet as well. Now we'll have a look at all these little bits and pieces in a bit more detail now. Frame A, as you can see, comprises the upper wings and the top of the fuselage, 2 lower wing halves, the elevators, horizontal stabilizers, probably all moving or something on this, the rudder, wheels, engine, front and back bits, stuff like that. And these are the fuel tanks, I believe, part of the fuel tanks. Frame B is largely interiors. These are the other parts of the fuel tanks. These are engine inlet components, the nose, bits and pieces of the ejection seats, the flying surfaces for the main wings, so flaps, which can be either up or down, and the ailerons. Something for the front instrument bay, because the top of the nose can be hinged upwards on this particular model. And frame C, obviously, is the two halves of the fuselage. The engine inlets go in here. The rest of the ejection seats, instrument panels, landing gear legs, and so on. Then there's frame D, which are the canopies. So there's an all-in-one canopy if you want the canopy down, and there's an internal screen for the rear seat pilot. And if you want the canopy open, then the actual canopy itself is here, and there's a windscreen as a separate part. And there are some lights for the ends of the wings, and a light on the nose as well. Having a closer look at the plastic, it all looks tidy enough. I think the panel lines on this are a little exaggerated for 48 scale. The edges are okay. There's a few bits of what look like mould flash left over. Again, sort of, I wouldn't say clumsy panel lining, because that would be unfair, but quite pronounced panel lining, I think, on there. But the plastic looks neat enough. Have a look at the other side of it. You can see all of the gates coming to the bottom. There's no undercut to them, so you have to cut them off that way. Nowadays there'd probably be an undercut gate, so when you snip it off like that, you just have to get rid of the little nub there. But hey, it's different things. The ejection seats with and without the belts. I don't know why they've bothered with doing that for two of the seats, because of course only one of the seats has a pilot option. So there we go. The gear legs all look very smart and very clean. All the bits and pieces of the undercarriage, there we go. All very good. The instrument panels, nice and sharp as well. I suspect the decals might actually lay on these quite well, because there's not too much relief in the part. It's not like got parts sticking out or anything. So the decals from the kit might be okay on these. And looking at the wings, again, the panel lines, oh, there we go. Looking at the wings, again, on top of the fuselage, panel lines are, again, very pronounced, but I don't know. I don't think that they're that bad, but you know, they are a little heavy-handed, I would say, in terms of design. Would like to see them a little bit less in your face myself. The inlet for the engine, the inlet fan for the engine, it's all very nice. It's nothing spectacular there. The wheels are okay. The wheels are pretty basic on this aircraft anyway. There's brake pots on the inside of these, I think, as well. On the inside of the main wheels, they've got, I suspect they're brake pots, brake lines. It's all very nice. And here we have some of the very small parts here, these sort of tiny little bits of instrumentation. These here are, these bits here are the ejector seat initiators, so that just these loops, not this bit here, that's just the support. So these loops, that would be interesting to get that off cleanly. This is the top box for the ejection seat, so it's an overhead ejection. There's a bit here which is like the instruments for the nose of the aircraft if you're going to have the nose open. I'm increasingly tempted to do that, actually, to have the early markings and have the nose open, but no pilot. There's only one pilot on this kit. It's a two-seat trainer it should have two pilots, really. It's okay, it's not too bad. The oxygen mask tube is okay. It's a little confused in here. I suspect once you prime that, put a layer of primer down on that, it will look a lot better and a lot easier to know which bits are straps and which bits is seat straps and which is his underneath his life vest and things like that. It's not badly moulded. The face is okay, but yeah, 1/48 I've seen better. But it's okay. The main thing to me is there's only one of them, which I think is ridiculous for a two-seat trainer. The decal sheet follows the typical Airfix layout. So this top portion here, these are decals that are common to both markings. The bit here are for Scheme A, the number 4 Flying Training School, and the ones down here are for Scheme B, the Central Flying School. Here you can have a close-up look at the decals. Of course, they're cartograph. Of course, they're sharp. This is a 0.5mm pencil lead as usual, and you can see all of the instruments are absolutely crisp in the way that they are reproduced. All of the text here is fine. It's all very readable, very nice. Absolutely astonishing as usual. The squadron or school markings here, for example. These are screen printed with specific colours, so the multiple passes of screen print, and each colour is a separate screen with a separate ink. So the inks are really rich, absolutely spot on colour and beautiful. The RF roundels, very, very smart, very good colour. The nice bright roundels, sort of post-war roundels, which are lovely. And again, with the Central Flying School, the colours in here and everything's so sharp. The registration is absolutely beautiful. Everything is exactly as it should be and very smart indeed. These white markings here are really good. I mean, white is a terribly difficult colour to print and to get sharp and to look great as a decal, and Cartograph pull it off every time. You'll notice on here this greyish silver, it's actually a silvery colour. You can see it's got a bit of a sheen to it. That's for parts of the aircraft that aren't, that they were masked off so that when the aircraft was oversprayed with fluorescent paint, you could see the registration basically. And it's the same on the rear of the fuselage. You have patches like this. This is so you don't have to mask it separately, spray it or paint it, and then try and put the decal on top. This is all done for you, which is very nice. Yep, absolutely beautiful. The instruction leaflet is pretty much as normal for an Airfix instruction leaflet. There's what it is up here, the 1/48 scale Folland Gnat T1. Product code A05123 repeated here. The dimensions repeated here. 2 decal schemes and 2 build options. The basic basic information about the aircraft here and some specifications here. They're in English, French, German, Spanish and Swedish as usual. On the inside there's some general building instructions in a dozen languages. There's some translations of the icons that are used, again in a dozen languages, and then we get into the instructions. So very, very straightforward, very normal for what we see with Airfix. Shaded drawings. There's red used for bits that we've previously fitted, and so it goes on actually very straightforward. There's decals in here for the instrument panels, of course. There's the construction of the ejection seat, and every now and again there's like colour callouts which are using the Humbrol colours that we talked about before. Now, personally, I would go through these and just put in what 126 is. 85 is satin black and 24 is yellow. So that's for the stripes on the ejection seat initiator handles up there, for example. But there's options for the ejection seat if you're having a pilot or not. There's only one pilot, which is a bit strange. for a 2-seat trainer. And then again, as usual, same things. Anything is red is what we've previously added, previously fitted. There's a little bit here about how to put the pilot together and how to paint them. It's all very straightforward. The interesting thing for this version of the Gnat is that you can open up the instrument bay in the nose, so you can put the parts in for the instrument bay and paint them up, and then have the nose open should you wish. I'm not sure I will. Maybe I will on mine, I'm not sure yet. There's holes to drill if you're going to be using the fuel tanks, of course. And it's saying here not to glue these little tabs here at where the ailerons go. I'm presuming because that's so you can have the ailerons in different poses. I don't know. The flaps definitely can be either retracted or fully down. Undercarriage, all very straightforward. There's several views to show you what they should look like, and also the fact they should be about 80 degrees from the horizontal, the main wheels. And there we go. So there's some more instrumentation that goes in the inside of the nose, and of course the landing light that goes on the front. And there's a nose probe as well. And then the placement of the canopy, either closed or open. We then have 3 views, what we call 3 views, 4 views actually, of the aircraft, so you know how to paint the schemes, but also where the stenciling and decals go. So this is the Folland Training School aircraft. It has white, black and signal red. The underside is light aircraft grey. And then the one I'll be doing, Central Flying School aircraft from 1964, is, they call it silver. It's actually high-speed silver. They use Humbrol 11 silver. Isn't a reflective silver. It is much more like the high-speed silver that the Royal Air Force used to paint their aircraft in. So it's like a silver, but that's been matted down with some white, essentially. And it forms like a sort of a semi-shiny surface. It looks really cool. Fluorescent fire orange, I'll have to investigate. I've got some fluorescent sort of red, aircraft red. I don't know if that's quite the same, or whether I really need that orange. If I need that orange, I'm going to have to find some from somewhere. But that is a scheme I think I'll do. Interestingly, the bits where you on the aircraft, they've not painted the fluorescent because of the markings. These come as entire decals, as you saw earlier on, the sort of shiny decals. That's a nice way of doing things, I think. So that's the instructions. There it is. The kit looks pretty good to me, with enough differences to the design of the old 1/72nd scale kits to make me think it will be a great deal more buildable. I'm looking forward to it. I've got my fluorescent paint and I'm ready to go. Look out for the build video on the channel before too long. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the kit. If you have, do remember to let YouTube know by giving it the thumbs up, hitting that notification bell and subscribing to the channel. Thanks so very much for watching today, and goodbye.